I don't think this one's for everyone,
Yeah.
but if it is for you, then it is very much for you.
Hello and welcome to MovieTown, the Los Angeles Revival Cinema Scene show. We are in Silver Lake at Whammy Analog, and I'm joined by proprietor of Whammy, Erik Varho. Thanks so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me.
So I really wanted to come out because, and talk to you because I saw on your schedule coming up in this September, you have this just kind of incredible series called Shot on Video September. The titles, I literally don't think I knew one of the titles. In reading the descriptions, I wanted to see every single one. It just fits so much with Whammy and kind of the renaissance of looking back at video and people shooting stuff on video again. How did this series come about, or, just thinking about that?
Sure. So yeah, this is our second year doing it. And it just kind of, we've been operating as as our store in the Microcinema for about 3.5 years. And it seems just like kind of a culmination of our very specific space as both a VHS store and a Microcinema, looking deep for stuff that is not going to screen on bigger screens in Los Angeles, but has a lot of value, has a lot of, interesting character, has a lot of depth that maybe you might not expect. And yeah, so we're very exciting. We want to keep this going every year and just, see how many people we can expose these very special and strange films to.
And so what, just to demarcate it, I think even in my mind, shot on video, what does that mean to you in terms of format, time?
To me, it means specifically shot on a videotape format. So either, handheld VHS or VHS-C or mini DV or that sort of thing. And so that can, that technology started to become available in, let's say, the mid to late 70s. Feature films started popping up in the early 80s. The SOV period, a lot of people maybe consider from the 80s to the mid 2000s, but there's still people shooting on video. We're premiering a couple of films that were coming out this year that were shot on videotape.
When you started putting this series together for this year, did you have titles already in mind, or how do you even start kind of a set, because there's a lot of films. How many films?
14.
Yeah. And so what is the process for getting that group of 14?
Well, I'm always looking for shot on video movies that are new to me.
Yeah.
It's a constant process throughout the year of looking for new stuff. And then once it gets, closer to the point, it's about, things that maybe make sense together. Maybe, want something that's placed more in the historical context of early shot on video films. Always try to include something that is recent. Last year, we also premiered some films that were, brand new shot on video films as well. So yeah, just trying to get a good range of, horror, which a lot of shot on video feature films tend towards, but also there's a lot of experimental, there's a lot of documentary, there's a lot of, really trying to get a wide range of what shot on video filmmaking can be.
Yeah. And then how does it work when you bring in a label like Saturn's Core? Did you have a relationship with them before? Had you seen some of the titles they were releasing? And what is Saturn's Core, I guess, just to kind of...
Saturn's Core is a Vinegar Syndrome partner label, but they've been around for a long time. They used to release things on VHS. They still do occasionally, I think, but now primarily they release shot on video films exclusively on Blu-ray, mostly horror, but not always. But yeah, we had been in contact with them prior because they helped us be able to screen some things that we had wanted to screen before.
There's five of their
titles.
Titles.
There's a few that have been released by them in the past. There's one that is currently releasing now. It's on pre-order. And then there's one that's coming out in December of this year. So that really hasn't been seen by almost anyone.
What's that one?
So that one, it's Spectre's Rock. It's notoriously only known as the trailer for it was an Easter egg on the Twin Peaks season 1 DVD.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yeah. So that's pretty much anything
And just the trailer was there, not the
just the trailer. So it was never released theatrically. It was never distributed on home video. But it's, yeah, the filmmaker will be here in person. I believe he's local. He's kind of a Lynch scholar. There's a lot of Lynch actors in the movie.
Well, and it's like 2.5 hours long.
2.5
right?
hours long. There's like 40 locations all around LA. Yeah, I'm really excited.
When the filmmaker made it, did it screen a little bit then, or almost just like
it never
only
had
existed as this trailer?
I'm excited to hear a little bit more in the Q&A because yeah, from what I understand, it definitely never got a theatrical release. I don't know if it had a theatrical screening at some point, but yeah, that's to be determined.
Yeah, we could even start talking where the series starts off with Sledgehammer from 1983. You know, and I guess kind of makes sense as the first one because this was the first shot on video that made it to the feature film that went to the home market.
Yeah, it was. So a few years back, it was often advertised as like the first shot on video horror feature film, but then, you know, as people dig deeper, we find more. But this was the first one, shot on video, I believe some sort of consumer format, and then was the first horror feature film to be released into like the direct video market. It's like one of the first shot on video horror features that people were aware of because you would see it in the rental store.
Okay.
It was like, you know, widely available in that way. But yeah, very, very special movie. Very interesting.
Yeah,
movie.
I mean, the trailer and clips I came across are pretty incredible. And very excited to see that. And then, you know, jumping ahead, I guess, because, you were saying it is interesting to see, you know, it does feel like the core kind of is horror in this world. But then there's some real experimental works that even bridge kind of the gap between the two, or you know, this one, Final Flesh, that you all are screening second. This one was a lot more kind of, I guess, recent in terms of 2009, still, you know, 15, 16 years ago. But it's hard to even describe theoretical or sort of experimental conceit in a way, right?
Absolutely.
And so had you known about this before finding it for this series?
Yeah, I hadn't watched it until maybe a few months ago.
Yeah.
But I was, you know, vaguely aware of its existence, but not totally up to date on like the details of how it was made. It's just like I knew it was something shot on video, and I knew it was Vernon Chatman,
and Vernon Chatman, the filmmaker. Are there other works?
Well, he's mostly known. He's a co-creator of Wonder Chosen, which was like this absurdist like children's educational satire show that was on MTV2. That's really hilarious and like also very like formally experimental.
Yeah.
He's also like involved with South Park.
Will he be here for the film? Okay.
Yeah, I would love to.
Yeah.
If anyone has a contact,
Yeah.
a video intro or something.
Yeah. And then I guess the first one from Saturn's core titles that you're showing, Bone Sickness.
Yeah.
You know, this one, you know, still somewhat recent as well, 2004. Had you known this title, or?
This one, relatively newer to me. But as soon as I saw it, I thought it was a great fit. It's really the practical effects in it are just so inventive, and both in terms of like, you know, the sloppy guts and the gore and stuff like that. A little too realistic at times. You're just kind of, you know, with the video quality on it too, you're just maybe slightly worried that this is real, but it's not. But then also there's a lot of driving, like practical stunt driving effects that also feel very real. You know,
you don't really want to know how they got it done.
Yeah, but the finished product is really something.
Yeah. And this one has the director who goes by the name magGot.
Yes.
Microcinema.
I never left the white room.
Yeah. And so what is that?
So that's another title from Saturn's core. That's the one that is
from 2000.
From 2000. Yeah, I believe he made it while he was going to art school.
Okay.
And it has very like experimental art school, vibe to it, but it's also very intense, very like grating, like industrial noise soundtrack. Essentially you're following the violent like delusions of like a mental patient in a psychiatrist's office. I don't think this one's for everyone.
Yeah.
But if it is for you, then it is very much for you.
Is there which one might be for everyone, or at least the most accessible of the 14?
That's a really good question. I think maybe I'm between either Twisted Issues, which is the one that we're doing at Braindead Studios.
Okay, yeah.
We screened that one here last year, but then now it's getting a Blu-ray release, or just got a Blu-ray release from Saturn's Core. And director Charles Pinion will be there in person. He made it, I believe, when he was a teenager, maybe like 18, 19.
From 1988.
Yeah, and it's was just kind of shooting like bands like in the Gainesville, Florida punk scene that he was a part of, and then just kind of like through having a camera around, just started experimenting, and then it just kind of morphed over time into like this zombie skateboarder narrative. Definitely it goes there with some of the violence and the gore, but it's also just a lot of fun and not like so intensely harsh.
Every other screening is here at the Microcinema at Whammy, and then this one will be at Braindead. How does that come together that you guys kind of collaborate on that?
We've done a few things there before.
Okay.
We were just really excited about maybe growing the SOV September thing a little bit this year, and so just reached out and pitched that, and they were down for it.
So. Yeah. And we could just go through kind of the titles and see if there's anything you want to throw in about them. The next one after my CREPITUS, you've got Terror Toons. This one looked really interesting, with a horror cartoon or something coming to life. So is it a combo animation reality thing, or?
It's very difficult to describe.
Yeah.
So that was the other one I was in between of maybe most accessible. I think it's most accessible on the surface, maybe because it's like comedic, but it's also in its comedy like maybe more unsettling than some of the other ones. But it's a very special movie. It was made in 3 days for $2,300, and it's a lot of painted like plywood sets, brightly colored. And then there is it's 2002, but computer animation is involved, but that mostly means it's like people's faces are being like warped and distorted, like using computer animation. A lot of green screening going on. The director, Joe Castro, will be there. He is kind of a special effects guru. He's done special effects for a lot of movies. But this is something that he directed, and it doesn't go so crazy with the practical effects as some of the other stuff, but the mix of computer effects and really gives it a very distinct like visual look.
Right.
And it's as far as a plot goes, you get a DVD of Terror Toons that allows the Terror Toons to come out into the real worlds, and then all bad things happen after that.
Right.
Yeah.
And then next you've got Savage Harvest. This is another of the Saturn's Core titles from 1994, director Eric Stanze. And were you familiar with this film?
Yeah. I had rented this one from Videotape a while back.
So is that newer discovery for you, or like?
Yeah, I mean within the
like
past
10
year.
years? Okay.
Yeah, past year or two.
Yeah.
Really fun horror movie that just happens to be shot on VHS.
Yeah. How many of these do you think were shot on VHS, or it's sort of gotta see from the film? It's not really totally known exactly the format sometimes.
Yeah, I think maybe if I was to guess, maybe 4 or 5.
Yeah.
whereas the other ones are probably shot on a, maybe a slightly larger tape format, like a 1-inch or something.
And who wrote the like blurbs on the site about each movie? Do you write those?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're because they're really good, and I really liked this one for Beyond the Seventh Door.
Oh, I did not write that one. I'm sorry. That is so that one is being presented by Canadia, which is
right, yeah,
Robert Dayton, who likes to dig up some of the most incredible, deep cut Canadian gems, and so this is Robert's writing, which is fantastic.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of looks, and he compared it a bit to The Room and Tommy Wiseau, but it also reminded me just the look of the guy, and it's all denim, reminded me of Bob from Twin Peaks a little bit or something.
Very distinct looking individual. Yeah.
Yeah. So that one, yeah, from Canada, Screen Kill from 1997. Baltimore movie. Oh yeah, that would be interesting. Does it feel like a lot of these films were shot out? Like, is that part of it too? Is a lot are shot outside of LA or kind of regionally more?
Yeah, that's a huge part of it. I mean, in terms of my interest, for sure, it's just like, these filmmakers who have really most of the time no connection to the Hollywood industry, but still determined to, make a feature film from start to finish, with whatever limitations that they have. And I think that just makes for a lot more interesting results a lot of the time.
Yeah. Yeah, and this one, Screen Kill, even it's like a horror, or the lead singer of a rock band and somebody he's collaborating with who end up going too far with their film effects. It almost reminded me of the Wings Hauser movie I saw here, the art of killing. It was
Art of Dying.
The Art of Dying. That was so good too. Oh, God, I love that one. But it reminded me a little bit of that. What had you seen this one before?
This was within the past year or so. But yeah, I mean, I love movies about making movies in general, but then when it's this extra level of that. So yeah, that's just a really fun one. It's like, a lot of low budget movies are often like, we saw this other movie and we're not copying it, but it's, so it's like, there's another shot on video movie called Video Violence. That's like one of the most famous of the genre of shot on video horror. That's, kind of about making snuff films, but passing them off as, horror movies or whatever. So it's kind of taking a little bit from that. But then, the rock band stuff is really good. They're dressed like, you're expecting it to be some sort of like really heavy, like metal music, whatever. And then it's like the cheesiest, like proggy pop music like you've ever heard.
Just talking about Video Violence, like what are like the, sort of shot on video, like almost the titles in the canon of shot on video, do you think?
That's a good question. I mean, yeah, I'm gonna get judged very harshly for whatever I say here. So, I mean, I would say, Sledgehammer, which, we're trying not to show just, the canon, even though I think there's a lot of room. There's a lot of people who haven't seen like even the most well-known shot on video horror movies. But yeah, so I would say Sledgehammer, which we're showing, is one of them. Boarding House is another one, just because it was one of the earliest shot on video horror features and it was distributed theatrically.
Is Coven from American Movie, is that considered one, or is that kind of, it sort of happened or got noticed because of American Movie?
I'm pretty sure he shot that on black and white 16.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
But it's just it
has that does seem to capture the feeling when we talk about a lot of these movies.
Just very regional, very, making something special out of nothing. Yeah.
And why do you think so many of them like live in this horror genre, the ones that end up kind of finding a place?
I mean, I think a lot of it is just it had the potential to go a little bit farther.
Yeah.
Just because the horror audience is very I don't want to say forgiving. That's not what I'm trying to say. They're
But they like to see some of the boundaries and edges pushed.
they're very yeah, they're always looking
Yeah.
for more stuff. They're very exploratory. They want if you have only a little bit amount of money, if you make a horror movie, chances are some people are going to end up watching it.
Right. Yeah. That's a good way to put it. And then, so, you know, the most recent release, a new release from 2025, Mid/Evil Times. What is that film?
So that is, yeah, not a horror movie at all. That is Devin Green. He's a local filmmaker, friend of the store. He, you know, we do a lot of private rentals for like cast and crew screenings and stuff like that. So he rented us out for a cast and crew screening of that, and I loved it. Thought it was great. So it's very formally experimental. It's comedic. Its influences, like, if you were to describe or ascribe any influences to it, are probably more like late era Godard as opposed to anything else. Like, just very a lot of ideas in a 60-minute package, and like just a lot of fun at the movies.
Yeah, very cool. And yeah, and that sort of starts, you know, kind of the final run of the last 4 features, and all the directors are going to be here for these. So you've got Fatal Images, or I guess I should mention, you also, is Dispatches from LA also a new one?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
It's a 30-minute film.
Okay. And that's showing with Medieval Times.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
And starring Robert Dayton of Canadia.
Okay. Wow. And then you've got Fatal Images from 1989 with director Dennis Devine will be here. What is that one?
So that one was totally serendipitous. It was, you know, I'm finalizing the calendar for SOV September. As I mentioned, we do a lot of private rentals for cast and crew screenings. I get an email about someone wanting to rent us out for a cast and crew screening for a new feature, and I see it signed Dennis Devine, and I'm like, I know that name. And you know, I'm looking on my shelves. I have Amazon Warrior and Vampires of Sorority Row, and he's this guy. He's been making, you know, low to no budget movies since the late 80s, including Fatal Images, which is, I believe, his first feature. That was shot on video and came out in 1988. So it just so happened that, you know, this person came out of the woodwork at the time that I'm, you know, booking my SOV September calendar, and just made themselves known and available to me. So I was very excited about that. I am I love a lot of his films, and I met him recently. He's a very, very nice guy, and I hope people come out for that one, because that one's gonna be really special.
Cool. And then another one of the earliest releases from '84, Highway Hypnosis with director Ken Camp. Is this another kind of known entity in the shot on video world or something?
So it's only really been discovered very recently, and it's so our good friend Liz Purcell, who is a film programmer, queer film historian, now has a distribution company called Muscle Distribution. So she was working with Easy TV, which was
oh yeah, you guys have had a series of Easy TV here.
Yeah, so Easy TV was like a video production like collective / microcinema that was based out of West Hollywood, starting in the early 80s. And
was it cable access at all, or just
wasn't
kind of
cable access
in person?
You know, people would make, you know, videos or films, and then and you would just screen it right there in the microcinema, and then so just a lot of stuff got produced like in that whole like sphere. And so this was kind of, you know, in the research for that Easy TV series, which is either currently happening in New York right now or just finished. But yeah, it did happen in LA
Yeah.
a few months back, and we hosted a few of those screenings. But so this was a discovery out of like that kind of research, finding a good copy, which was digitized by Tape, our sister nonprofit, in-house nonprofit. But yeah, this might be my favorite film of all the SOV September stuff this year. It's very formally experimental. It's slow cinema to its core. It's a lot of just shots out of the car window on the freeway for long periods of time, and then it's intercut with bursts of violence and psychedelia, and you realize that you are like in the mind of like a serial killer in the style of The Freeway Killer, which was I guess there was multiple freeway killers, but around that time that was kind of making
It
the
was
news.
like an actual case of someone driving. Oh yeah, and this one, is it like going from LA to Vegas or vice versa?
Yes, LA to Vegas, and but yeah, it's just it's really a surreal experience to watch. It's like no other film I've ever seen, and I think it's definitely a product of the format that like only the format could have produced like something like this.
Yeah. Was Henry Portrait of a Serial Killer before? Was that made before or after that time period?
I'm pretty sure it was made after. I'm not super familiar with that movie, but I think it was more like later,
because it has this sequence where the two guys who are starting to commit these murders together, like one of the places they break in, like the family has a video camera, and so they record on it, and it has the feel like the movie itself is a very low budget thing, but then you're watching this and it has the feel almost of some of these kind of films we're talking about. I wonder if that world of it influenced John McNaughton, who made that film. Be interesting. And then of course it's ending with Spectre's Rock, which we talked about, and Josh Eisenstadt will be here to close that out at the very end of the month on September 30th. And I'm interested just in your own relation to some of these like shot on video. When did you kind of discover this? Was it back in like early your early video store days, like renting videos, or was it a later thing?
I would say it's more of a later thing in terms of like being able to name what it was. I think I've always been drawn to these kinds of movies. And yeah, in my rental days, I was at one point I was living in San Francisco. There was an amazing video rental store called Le Video that I would go to on my lunch breaks from work every day. It had an amazing, cult section. And so this was like 2007, 2008 kind of time. And so a lot of, much more so than now, there were still plenty of titles that were still only available on VHS at that point. So yeah, rented a lot of movies that way. But yeah, I've always been drawn to, the reasons why I like a movie are rarely based on its, technical ability or craftsmanship.
Right.
It's more about how how the finished product makes me feel. And so I've always been drawn to that kind of stuff. But I think it's only been more recently that, understanding the technology of video and videotape and stuff like that, that it, that I've been thinking about stuff that was specifically shot on video.
Yeah. I think what really jumped out to me about the shot on video series too is just coming from the filmmaking side, it feels really inspiring, like in a way, even different from what we think of as kind of indie micro budget filmmaking.
Yeah.
A lot of the times or now, just even in, it's a little gutsier in a way. There's pretension a lot with some of the micro budget stuff, or, not wanting to look stupid or, look like you have bad taste or something.
Yeah.
And I think some of these, it's like nice to just feel someone who is less worried or put it aside for a little bit.
There's a
I don't know.
freedom.
Yeah.
Like there's a freedom. The audience for it might be a little bit more forgiving. There's also just the speed. There's a closer distance between your idea and then the finished product, which I think also lends itself to making some very interesting things that wouldn't happen otherwise. This is not necessarily, I mean, I think a lot of shot and video filmmakers would love to be blessed with larger budgets and like make bigger projects, but at the same, it's, the fact that they're not getting those things is not stopping them from continuing to keep making these things, because the point of it is just to make it and then great, on to the next one. It's just like, it's a different thing.
Yeah. And for the shot on video series too, you're, offering, you can get a pass for like the whole series, like it's an incredible deal. Is it $45?
$45. And you could come to every single screening at Whammy.
Right. The Brain Dead one is a separate.
Yeah, it's separate venue, so we can't speak for their tickets, but that's a lot of movies.
Yeah, that's a lot. Have you had anybody who's bought it says, I'm going to do it? I'm going to.
Well, we did this last year as well. Did the pass, and I think I'll have to double check, but I think 2 people made it to every single screen.
Yeah, that's incredible. Yeah. Have you thought about like having a punch card?
That is a great idea. Yeah, I should definitely.
Really
I should definitely do that.
Well, Erik, thanks so much for having me out. It was great to see you again, and can't wait to dive into the shot on video series.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Yeah.